What's up, guys? It's your girl Phoenix Novell, and I am here with the one and only Miss Kristina Bielichenko. Did I say your last name right?
Almost. It's Bielichenko, but it's fine.
Bielichenko. I call
Yeah.
her Tina. This is my homegirl. I met Kristina. First of all, she is an amazing singer, entertainer, performer, and I happen to have a chance of meeting her while we were on a cover band circuit kind of gig, performing internationally. And it was just an amazing encounter because right away we hit it off. She's an Aries, I'm a Sag, so there was just so much firepower there. I always wanted to interview her, but with her work schedule, my work schedule, and our timing, it was just so hard to get together. But finally, she's on a gig right now, and she took some time out to do this interview. We just released our book together. She is a writer, I'm a writer, and it's called How to Make and Break a Relationship. So this interview could not have come at a better time, guys. We are going to talk about the book, our inspiration behind the book, and a little bit about Kristina. Now, Kristina's from the Ukraine, and there's some things going on there. So we're going to touch on that as well, and what it's like to be an entertainer dealing with real life issues while you're still doing what you love to do the most. So without further ado, guys, I am going to present you to the one and only Miss Lovely Kristina.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah, it's a lovely time to take part with this amazing woman right there. Yeah, it's been a while since I haven't seen you, but like each time I see you, we have an incredible, beautiful time talking and experience life, life on the gigs and not only. So I'm happy to be here and yeah,
Wonderful. Where are you?
let's go.
Let's go. Where are you currently at right now?
Long story short, I never wanted to have work in Middle East, but I'm here now. I am in Bahrain.
And what's the experience like? Like, are you happy with being there?
It's a good question because it depends on which like what kind of things we are talking about. Like work wise and like my team wise, I'm super happy because I'm working with really good musicians and we have a really good job and everything is good. But beside the job, I think like I'm not really like this Middle Eastern lifestyle, like it's a little bit different, slightly different from Asia and every other part of the world. So basically, it's just it's good because I'm here 4 months now, so it's better. But honestly, like it's not my kind of jam. But I do the best of it, so it's fine.
Are you doing the whole?
So yeah, I'm on a gig now in Bahrain, in Manama. The place called Davy Crockett's. So my friend invited me here, and yeah, that's why you need to be connected with good people and good musicians. You never know where life gonna lead you. Like, and that's what's happened with me since the war was started in Ukraine. I came back to Ukraine accidentally because of Omicron wave, and when the war started, I was stranded in Europe, and then I was like, I need a job. I need to support my family and stuff like that. And that was one opportunity that people who know me really well, they're like, you know we want you here, like because you're applying for many jobs, but when people don't know you, they don't really care. But when people know you and they're supporting you, and then it's the best time because you can work with them again, and it's magical. It's actually magical. So that's why I'm super happy to be here, and plus I'm thankful for people that I know and friends who helped me through all these dark times.
Christina, life just kind of like flipped upside down, didn't it? I mean, we were on gigs performing, then all of a sudden Omicron hit, and then all of a sudden there's a war in your country. It's like before you could even get your mind wrapped around one thing, something else completely shut the
Yeah.
world down for you, completely changed. And I remember we were in the middle of finishing up our book actually, when I reached out to Christina, and she's like, I'm like, girl, you ready? I want to start the advertisement. She's like, babe, I can't even think about that right now. I love you. I want to do this, but right now I got to focus on what's happening in my country. And I think the hardest thing for me to kind of wrap my head around at the time was that we're all on this one planet. You know what I'm saying? We're all experiencing life, but somebody could be going through something on another part of the globe, and you're going through something completely different, and you don't think about it because it's not affecting you directly. So I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, oh yeah, I know she's from Ukraine, but it may not be that bad. But in my mind, I'm like, all right, I get up every day, the sun's shining, you know what I'm saying? Everything's fine, there's no bombs. And it hit me knowing somebody personally who's dealing with that reality. It was just like a slap in the face because we don't realize how connected we are, but how disconnected we are just because we don't have the same experiences. So
Yeah.
I had to become it's almost like I put my humanity back on me. I'm like, yeah, I want to be a businesswoman and we got to promote. But at the same time, no matter what, I want to make sure that Christine is okay. I want to show her that I care about her and her family. So for me, it was a big deal to realize how I would never have met you if you weren't following your dreams. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't even know each other if we weren't both pursuing our passion. And because we did that, we're able to connect with each other and talk about things that matter. You know what I'm saying? What
Yeah.
matters is
Yeah.
relationships. Business is
Yes.
fine, but relationships are number one, right?
Yes. Yes. Of course.
So I'm happy that you're able to find work. I'm happy that you are with a in a unit because sometimes there could be so much drama within the band that that's just like a problem
Yeah.
itself, right? So you got it good in the sense of that because that's more important than location, right?
Yeah.
But I want to know how what is the current standing in Ukraine as far as the war is concerned?
Oh, it's complicated because like no one can really tell you the current situation because many things like that, like connected to the military stuff, it's like a secret. So no one really will tell you the current news. They will tell you a little bit later. So basically, as far as we know, like our military is trying to get back those territories that Russia already occupied. They're trying to get back it before the winter because winter gonna be a little bit tough for that. So basically, it's a lot of bombs coming, and it's a lot of like strikes and like that with missiles, and it's like it's still so dangerous, and you never know what's gonna be tomorrow. So basically, now it's a little bit intense. It's a lot of things going on. It's still super bad, and it's gonna be bad for a while. So we don't know for how long, but it's gonna be bad for a while. And yeah, it was coming. It was coming actually in all these years. People don't know that it was all started in 2014
Oh,
because people thought it just started now. No, it started when they took Crimea. They took Crimea, and that's when they wanted to take also Donetsk and Lugansk region, and
okay.
that's when all was like back in that days. But that conflict was like slight, and Russia always lied that no, it's not our militaries. No, we're not doing nothing there. It's just Ukraine and people on that territories who wants to be independent. But it's never been like that. It's always been Russia against Ukraine. But they were like trying to hide all this stuff to make it like, oh, it's just Ukrainian problems. It's not us. But recently, when they did this officially, so now there's no yes or no. That's really, you can see what's going on. It's
Absolutely.
Russia against Ukraine, and Ukraine is a victim because it's our territory, and we signed the papers with them that it's our official territory, so no one can get it back. So we gave our nuclear weapon, we give up on nuclear weapon just because we signed the papers, so we can like stay as a state. So uh, they break all these laws, and they just broke all these papers crossing the line. So they know we don't have nuclear power, and they do nuclear weapon. And that's why it's not fair because first of all, Ukraine signed all the papers to be independent with its own territories, and now it seems like nobody really cares about this anymore. That's why Russia like just cross a lot of things, and that's why in like it's like you have a house, for example, and it's 4 floors, and then your neighbor have only 2 floors, but you come to his house and like, you know what, I just want one more floor for myself, which is like, you have 4 floors already. It's like, yeah, but I want yours because I just want it. So what's your reasons? I don't know, I just want your house. That's my reasons. You don't like that? Why? You know, it's like a simple it's like slight example, like why and what, and then it's like people confused. Oh, and then some people, like, sometimes some people saying, yeah, but that guy deserved that because he just have 2 floors, and if this guy is stronger and wants his second floor, why not? Like, that's the mentality of people sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's not good. Like, imagine if it's your house. You always need to put yourself in that situation. Imagine if it's your kids, if it's your country, if it's your house, if it's your life that is taken by somebody.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's always good to put yourself into situations like that and understand that, yeah, I might be far away from that, but it can come to my house too. So what I'm gonna do?
That's the part that I think really hit me the most because it's almost like out of sight, out of mind. If that was the situation, if it was my food, if it was my clothes, if it was my house, if it was my partner, I would fight for what's mine because you can't just take this away from me. And immediately I know that that will be the my mindset, but sometimes when it's not yours, you're just so far
No,
removed.
no, it's
You
yeah,
know,
of course. It was a lot of conflicts on this planet in Chechnya and Afghanistan, and also we didn't know much about those stuff. We didn't know about the war, what's going on inside, because we're like, oh, it's probably their problems. But
right?
the problem is we only into it when it comes to our houses. That's true. So that's why, for me, basically, it's hard to still to understand what's going on in general.
Wow.
Like, you're just dealing with your family stuff, and then in general it's a lot of things, but sometimes it hits you hard because when people die that it's really painful. It's very painful. Like, I would say, it's sad, and sometimes it's just too much.
I want to ask
But
you, like, how are
uh,
you? Um, is it helping you to perform right now? Is it helping you to sing and do what you love to do while this is
yes, yes. Basically, it's all, of course, it's take your attention away. It gets you to another place and gets you a little bit busy, far away from all this stuff. Because when you and every day reading the news and know all this and talking about that, it just gets so intense. Then it can affect your mental health, which is not good. So that's why the best solution, just live your life and work and continue, because there's no, like, at the beginning, that's why I said, because first months we were not posting anything. Like, people from Ukraine were like, we weren't like we didn't want to post anything except about the war and people. And then after a while you get a little bit back, and then you can just adjust yourself to normal life again. That's why at that moment I couldn't post any like advertising or any like happy posts, because I knew that it's going to be wrong, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
I
And
completely
slowly now I'm back to normal. So now I can do my normal things, but still thinking of Ukraine and still be into it. Like, so it's two at the same time. So it's like my whole family is there. Like my mom, my sick grandma, like my sister, like, which is 19 years old, my father, my, like, everybody, my boyfriend, his family. So it's like only me who's out. So
And are they safe right now? Like, do they? And
They are safe, but you never know, because like it's random places. They struck random places.
wow.
So it's like sometimes you think it's safe place to be, but you don't know, because it's happened so many stuff already. So many people died unpredictable. So it's like, I hope so. Like, the goal is just to to keep it like that. But I also have my auntie and uncle. They are from Mariupol, so they are from the city that was destroyed. The whole city was destroyed.
And did they
So
survive?
they barely survived. They lost house, they lost everything they had, and they were walking for hours to get out from the city. And we didn't know if they were alive. So like me and my mom, we were like trying to get news from anyone to know if they are alive. But they made it through. They are alive, but they don't have nothing at all. So they lost everything. So yeah. And I just visited them last year, like, oh no, 2 years ago. I went to see them in Mariupol. So it was the last time when I could do that, because there's no city anymore. and I don't know when they can come back and
Rebuild.
do, yeah, and rebuild. Yeah. So basically, my family is affected, but in general, it's not as bad as some other families. So I would say compared to other people, I'm pretty okay. But you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So that's why I'm not saying everything gonna be good, because people are, oh, don't worry, everything gonna be gonna be good. I'm like, how you know? Like,
I looked at the pictures you were posting and the videos, and like it was just all it was. It's just different. You hear about these stories, even with George's, our the guy who owned the company that we were performing with, LI Productions.
yes.
He's from Lebanon, and he told me before that he remembered being a little boy, and there was wars popping out, and bombs. It was like a regular thing. Like they had to play the music over top of it. And so when you talk to somebody who's going through this, it's just so eye opening because it's not something you're reading in a book. These are people who you have a drink with, who you perform with, who you talk to and have regular conversations with. And this is something that they know in their lifetime. It's just eye opening, and it makes you appreciate every day a little bit more. So I want to talk to you because I want you to tell me. I know you've been doing this for a while and you've been performing and traveling the world, and I want to know what your first experience outside of Ukraine was as an artist.
Yeah, that's a good question. So my first experience was rough. So I was at that time 24 years old, and I went to China by myself alone,
Oh my God, China.
uh, to do the gig in a club, singing shows, like kind of like show style. So it's not the band, it's not the solo singer. It's like you have a show with dancers or by yourself, but it's like really club style, like club music.
Kind of like what I was doing in Bangkok. Right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, okay,
yes.
okay.
So I came there and it was like so bad because my agent was not a good person, and like no one, like nobody could speak English. I didn't have a good phone at that time, so I couldn't really translate the stuff. So it was like really cold. It was February and rainy. So like my first weeks were horrible because I couldn't fall asleep because it was too cold at the apartment. Yeah, it was like so bad that I was like I was ready to go home after 1 month.
How long did you wind up staying on that gig?
So it was not one gig, it was each month different place.
Oh,
So I went to a few places. One of those was Chengdu City, which is a beautiful city in China, really big and stunning. But I ended up in Shenzhen,
okay.
and but when I came back to Shenzhen, I was doing the gig with musicians and then also in the club. But then my agent, she was really bad person, and she wanted me to do stuff that I didn't want to, and we ended up really really bad. So I took my stuff and ran away. Like I never did that in my life, but I did that in China, first gig.
Would you say that was your worst experience?
That was my worst experience. I have only 700 US in my pocket, and I had no job, no visa. My visa was like coming to the end, and I was thinking what to do. And there was two options: or go home, of course, buy a ticket and go to Ukraine, or stay in China and find another work.
Mhm.
And it was tricky because like I didn't know people, I didn't know agents, I didn't know really nice spots to go and ask for work. But then my friend, she was working in the city called Yichang near Wuhan. She was working with the club directly. So she said the boss looking for a singer, and she's like, if she likes you, maybe she can invite you. So long story short, I ended up at that club, working directly for the club. And the boss was a really powerful, nice woman, and we liked each other. So I stayed working in that club for 2 years straight.
Wow. She took care of
Yeah,
you?
I was working. Yes. So, but like at that time was good because I could do my own visa.
Oh,
So she was only taking care of housing and salary.
okay.
But she was paying me in time. She was paying me every 10 days. She was giving me my salary in my hands. So there was no agents in between, no one. So I was working directly with the person, and she was really good. Like she was doing stuff with me, like clear, like, no bullshit, nothing. Like she was like That's what you deserve. That's what I'm paying to you. And then other stuff you need to do by yourself, like visa run and visa, like, but I did it. So it was nice.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, we ended up in really good relationships with her. But then after a while, I think it was rough because you need to have a working visa. You know, in China before it was easier, but then they like started to be more like strict with visas. And then it was like 10 days that she's like, oh, you cannot work because we need to do other stuff, other paperwork. And unfortunately, I couldn't stay there. And I moved. And then what's happened, I went, like, I had a lot of Chinese friends, dancers, that took care of me. They took me to another club, gave me good salary. But the problem was also like they need more Chinese songs, and it was like Chinese New Year coming. And then they were like, okay, you need to do this and that. And I said, I don't think, like, I don't think it's a good idea because it's Chinese New Year and stuff like that. So like I got fired from that club, and they only gave me 3 days to find a new work and move on. But that was good because they took money from me. If I want to leave by myself, they would never give me money back, like around 700 US. But just because they fired me, they gave me my money, and they were like, okay, you have 3 days to go. And that's how I found work with L Life. I just like, some people said, oh, do you want to be a replacement just for 2 weeks in Guangzhou in a nice hotel? But the problem was they were like, okay, it's a nice hotel, but you need to sing 4 sets. But in China, when you're working in the clubs, you only do 3 songs, maybe 5 songs a night,
A night?
only a night.
That sounds beautiful.
And you get so much money. You get like at least 100 US each day. So it's like 3 songs, 5 songs a night, a show, and you got paid like that.
I mean,
Even sometimes even more. Yeah. So
what?
for me, it was like a challenge. I was like, from 3 songs to 20 songs or 25.
By yourself singing?
No, no, no. Of course, in the band, a four-piece band, but
Okay.
also a club style. So you need to jump, you need to hype, and you need to do 4 sets, 40 minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
And I did 2 sets, 10 minutes before.
you
So
know,
for me, it was a little bit like, oh my goodness, now I need to adjust myself to a little bit like, and the salary is less than
yeah,
in Chinese club,
yeah.
but better like
Condition.
apartment, better, yeah, good food, pool, gym, everything, like,
Visas taken care of, things are legitimate. You know,
yes,
I wanted to touch
yes,
on that.
yes,
I wanted to touch on that because um, when I post these videos and my musicians on gigs blogs, people contact me and they say to me, hey, I see your videos. I wanted to ask you, what is it like working for this company? What is it like doing this? Did you like it? And that's why I do these videos because I want to keep it real. We post our videos of the performance in the show and they say, wow, but they don't really know what it's like to work in a foreign country, people not speak the same language as you, rehearsing, living with strangers, performing when you're sick, dealing with all of the politics that come with it. Yeah, it's great that you're getting paid to do what you love to do, but there's so much business behind it. You have to socialize sometimes. You sometimes get into arguments and you don't like the people that you work with. You sign contracts, you want to go home, whatever it is. And so I like to tell people about the biggest difference between representing yourself without an agency and then also having an agency represent you. There's pros and cons to both sides,
yes.
right? Some people like to do things by themselves, but some people also like the agency who provides and finds them gigs themselves. What?
So basically, yes, it was too. So I twisted. So I went from being independent artist, taking care of everything by myself, to a company. But at the beginning, I didn't know that I'm gonna stay for a long time. So
Okay.
I was just a replacement for 2 weeks, 2, 3. So I thought maybe I just stay here a little bit and then I move to another club in China and gonna continue my career. But I ended up working with Alive for years and going
Are you
places.
still with them now? Are you on?
No, now I'm not with Alive because I was with them in Doha,
Right.
but Omicron, I was supposed to stay in Doha for a while, but because of the wave of Omicron, it got canceled. So when I was stranded in Europe, I was looking for a job, and like the company and live production was like was saying that it's coming, it's coming like end of May or June, but at the end of April, I have no place to stay and no money. So I was really stuck on the problem that I need to find a place where I can go. And with Bahrain, I'm also working for like a company and hotel. Oh, sorry, for a company and hotel directly. So there's no agent in between. There's no big company that move you from one place to another. It's just one venue and one company. So I'm working uh, with this place now, which is not a live productions, but like the moment I got my visa to go to Bahrain, they contacted me and like, okay, now you need to go to Doha, and I'm like,
Wow.
it was so sad though.
Do you plan to rejoin Alive?
I think so. Yes, for sure.